Hope everything plays good. Just getting off of work. Hope everybody having a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, and cool night. All right, let me send this on out. You know, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? All right, let's do this. All of a sudden, everybody named Mama going live. All these fucking notifications, but how come y'all don't get my notifications? Bullshit. They're like, oh shit, Hurricane going live. Let's flood some shit with some bullshit. Let's flood some shit with some bullshit. All right, just sent that out. Let's get it.
I put my life on wax, coming through, gotta spit these facts. Talk shit, get your wig pushed back. Knock your brains out your snapback, boy, you ain't ready for that. Bow down and pray to your God, cause I'm bringing the bomb. Activate while I chill out a pond. To the government, enough is enough. You ain't drafting us, got a gun and I'm calling you bluff. Detroit, this the place that I claim. Look what I became, revolutionary, spitting some flames. In the end, y'all remember the name, cause I showed y'all the game. Motherfuckers putting chips in your brains, and they still putting shit in your veins. This shit is insane. When we all gonna stand up to fight? Call the goons, they be ready tonight. Some is ready to snipe. Grab the guns and light up the night. Yo, these some ramble lyrics. I know y'all haters scared to hear it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. These some ramble lyrics. I know y'all haters scared to hear it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. Lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. I put my life on track so I can spit these lethal rhymes on tracks. Hurricane smoking hydro packs. Got goons in the black lack. Everybody loading the strap. About to show the motherfuckers who boss. Run in the facility, take the fucking head right off. Dead by dog, dog can't compare my dog. Create a whole bloody scene, they like, oh my god, fuck the law. About to go and break their jaw. Walk through the mean streets with the safety off. Face me dog, make you like a pastry dog. Got on the battlefield, can't chase me off. You're crazy soft, might as well play VR. Cause in the real world, man, your face be off. Case ain't solved, they would never trace your call. Cause we made it to the scene and we blast them all. These some ramble lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. These some ramble lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. These some ramble lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. And I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. These some ramble lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. Fuck it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. These some ramble lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. Fuck it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. These some ramble lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. Fuck it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping. These some ramble lyrics, I know y'all haters scared to hear it. Fuck it. I'ma keep on spitting while y'all haters keep on tripping.
You know, Gotta go over here real quick. I still forgot to motherfucking send the song over
The
here.
Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Still forgot to send the song to the other phone. All right, hold on. I'll have to catch that. All right, all right. Wait. God fucking damn it, man. I hate this motherfucking other phone. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? I'm like real shit. Beaming her up. Beaming on up. All right, we're doing that next. Okay, cool. There she go. Finally made it home, babe. It's supposed to be my day off, but they wanted me to work early. But it's all good, babe. It is so good to see you. I'm on the other phone right now. So I'll be able to put something in the chat as soon as I leave this track. Baby, I put a new track. You already know. I'm glad to be home safe too. I had to go to sleep. Took a minute to get some rest, but I managed to get some rest and wake up. Feel good. Feel good, baby. I know I might need a rest later. Make something to eat. Take a nap. Wake up. Get ready for a Detroit after dark.
It's only right, girl. We both want peace. We both want something true. So come a little closer. It's only right, girl. It's only right. Come a little closer.
Keeping it tranquil, yeah.
Baby girl, come close to me. This where you supposed to be. I know you want to see the cool sights in the 313. I got a spot for you and me. Got a pound of green. Roll it up, baby, smoke with me. Baby, about to get between the sheets. Guess the scene is sweet. Me and you, girl, we dream of peace. She love when I rock the beat. Gotta drop the heat. Love when she rock with me. At the beach, we watch the sea. Time to go with the flow. Smoking weed and it's making us flow. Baby girl about to put on the show. It's only right to have a phenomenal night. I'm glad she a part of my life. The timing is right. What we gonna do tonight? Girl, we about to go groove tonight. It's only right, girl. We both want peace. We both want something true. So come a little closer. It's only right, girl. It's only right. Come a little closer, closer. Baby girl, come close to me. Let's listen to some Joe to see. I got her holding me so tight, baby, flow with me. We about to go back overseas. It's only right, girl. In the Philippines, we walking in the field of dreams. It's love to see. We both want peace. In paradise, where she love to be. As we float to space, me and baby girl feeling great. It's a lovely day. Baby, love you in a special way. Time to take it to a special place. See the smile in your face. Let me know that I'm doing it right. Baby girl, is me and you for life. Yeah, the mood is right. Nighttime is the right time. Let me hit you with these right rhymes. It's only right, girl.
You know it, partner. Summer vibe, baby.
So come a little closer.
Hey.
It's only right, girl. It's only right. Come a little closer, closer.
Hey. You already know. Now let me get back. Hey. Now let's get back to this.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Damn, I can't get back to this because I gotta I gotta do the other that part of the news. I'm doing I'm gonna do a HHN mixed with the Tranquil. And there's a piece of news, like at first it was just gonna be Tranquility Thursday until like some news just popped up on Starma being a freaking wanker. But I gotta go back in order to play the Amelia. But fuck it. Fuck it. We'll just have to do it like this. Because as long as y'all can still hear it, that's really all that matters. Salute Jordan. Like, I just got done playing your track. Playing our track. As a matter of fact, fuck it, let's play it again. Hold on, wait. Fuck it, just play it again. He just came in. Now they want me to do this shit manually. God damn it, man. Now they want me to do this shit fucking manually. This some bullshit.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Thanks, computer. Computer, delete that whole fucking file.
You know this love thing. 1+1 is girl.
Play it again. Let's go.
It's only right, girl. We both want peace. We both want something true. So come a little closer. It's only right, girl. It's only right. Come a little closer, yeah.
Baby girl, come close to me. This where you supposed to be. I know you want to see the cool sights in the 313. I got a spot for you and me. Got a pound of green. Want the gun, baby, smoke with me. Baby, about to get between the sheets. Yes, the scene is sweet. Me and you, girl, we dream of peace. She love when I rock the beat. Gotta drop the heat. Love when she rock with me. At the beach, we watch the sea. Time to go with the flow. Smoking weed and it's making us flow. Baby girl, about to put on the show. It's only right to have a phenomenal night. I'm glad she a part of my life. The timing is right. What we gonna do tonight? Girl, we about to go groove tonight.
It's only right, girl. We both want peace. We both want something true. So come a little closer. It's only right, girl. It's only right. Come a little closer.
Baby girl, come close to me. Let's listen to some Joe to see. I got her holding me so tight, baby, flow with me. We about to go back overseas.
It's only right, girl.
In the Philippines. Dream, love to see.
You know it.
In paradise where she love to be. As we float to space, me and baby girl feeling great. It's a lovely day. Baby, love you in a special way. Time to take me to a special place. See the smile in your face. Let me know that I'm doing it right. Baby girl, is me and you for life. Yeah, the mood is right. Nighttime is the right time. Let me hit you with these right rhymes.
It's only right, girl. We both want peace. We both want something true. So come a little closer. It's only right, girl.
We both.
It's only right. Come a little closer.
Talk about you, Miss Sora. What? I didn't even have time to even enjoy Sora. I came to that bitch mad as hell. Yup. Talk about you, Miss Sora. I ain't had no time to enjoy it. Because when you first put me up on it, it said my phone wasn't compatible. So I'm like, what the fuck, right? Because I wanted the motherfucker to join the Bill Jordan movie that you had popping. It said my phone wasn't compatible. But damn near almost some time later, I don't know how many months, probably a year, I'm not sure. I go to motherfucking update one of my fucking games, and I see Sora at the bottom of the list. You know, so I'm like, fuck it, let me grab it, and just go ballistic. After, but like that was after the motherfuckers got rid of Vonta's channel. So I was like, okay, Sora, what you got? I feel like fucking some shit up. Yeah. So I typed in me doing some shit against God, and I was like, all right. Hurricane and redhead with glasses defeating God, and it showed some random shit. Bet it up. Hurricane and and Vonta at a diner. Bet it up. Hurricane Vonta anime. Bet it up. Yep. But
I'm Amelia. I'm English, and I love England. I like having fish and chips and a pint at the local pub. I like Shakespeare and Dickens, Tolkien and Lewis, Harry Potter. I like pork sausage and dogs and fashion. Haram! Haram! But I don't like that.
I covered it on the HHN. Skirt. I covered it on the HHN on why they got rid of it, because it wasn't going to bring in a good profit. Like, it was just having a whole bunch of people, you know, like banking in on a fantasy. But that's really number two. Number one, they was trying to get some licensing deals for, like, you know, like Marvel, Disney and shit. They was trying to get some IPs in that bitch. And I don't think they was going for it. I don't think they saw no future in the product. But the only way that they'll probably come back is if they merge with somebody and do some other shit. You know, probably probably merge with somebody that's on a motherfucking higher scale. But OpenAI is kind of like what top 3, top 5. But I covered. It's like it's a money thing. It's a money thing. You know, and it's really, you know, like they were just, you know, just getting a whole bunch of people just to come through, make some shit, but like they was trying to motherfucker like get some shit popping on some movie shit. But that's gonna take extra money. Like shit. Yeah, so like, you know, they kind of fucked themselves up on that. When they should have just kept it strictly simple. It should have just stayed simple instead of them trying to be too big for their britches, because like AI is all over the place and they trying to motherfucking make sure they capitalize on the market. But the market is fucked up. If you ain't Tesla, Hanson Robotics, the motherfuckers in China with the engine AI, if you ain't them, I'm talking about like big juggernauts. If you ain't the juggernaut, you probably low level to mid range, and you really gotta motherfucking make some deals, do some mergers. Shit, ain't nothing wrong with merging. Motherfuckers merge all the time. They do it at the WEF. Yep, cost too much in computing power when they got a super property. Yep, that too. That's number 3. The servers and shit. Those goddamn servers. A lot of computer power. Everybody, they mama fucking with Sora. Everybody, they mama was fucking with that shit. They're like, computing power. The machine smoking.
Are famously polite, willing to commit cultural suicide. Our institutions, the Church of England, the BBC, are a bunch of queers and nonces. How did we go from Churchill to you git? Sadiq Khan, the mayor? This is London, mate, not Afghanistan. Or Star Wars. Government won't even protect our schoolgirls from grooming gangs.
Shut off, wankers.
The police won't help. They're too busy confiscating garden tools and suppressing free speech.
That's right, miss. What have I done, officer? You've tweeted rudely,
and you're under arrest. Curry is fine, but we have several recipes already. There are 50 Islamic nations in the world. Muslims don't need to be on our island. They want to conquer it. The government says it must be this way. That doesn't make it right, does it, Robin Hood? These dragons that threaten our England won't go away unless brave knights rise up to slay them. Or did all the British bloodlines with any bollocks get killed off in World Wars I and II? Englishmen, it's your country and it's being taken from you. Chav, posh? Doesn't matter. We're already all in this together. I don't want this to be the future of the women of England, and I'm sure the women of Iran and Afghanistan didn't want it either. Your ancestors beat the Spanish Armada, Napoleon, and the Nazis. Surely you can handle welfare tourists. History will record what you do or don't do. Get cracking, lads.
Love Amelia. Tranquility Thursday, love. Now, this just popped up. We got us some news. At first, we're just going to be on Tranquil, but we got a little HHN going. I need to see what Starmer talking about. Starmer is a wanker. Fucking ad.
New customers deposit and wager $10 per 1,000 free spins on triple
fucking skip it. So I left out.
You're wrong about censorship, or at least you're picking the wrong battles. Hopefully in this video I can make some good faith arguments that hopefully you guys can get on board with and maybe understand my perspective a little bit. Now this...
Understand your perspective a little bit, man. You better not flip on me, Cyber Waffle. Cyber Waffle UK, I swear to God, you better not flip on me. You better not flip. I swear to God.
Comes off the back of a video that I made recently, where school teachers were saying that the far right are trying to get books removed from their schools and they're not happy about it. When you really dived into the story, it's that a few headmasters in schools decided to have a bit of an audit of some of the books that were present in schools and decided that some of them were a bit inappropriate for children. And this is where we have to understand the difference between government orchestrated censorship and actually protecting children. Now, for me to make these arguments on this channel, I've got to say everything with chest, so I will. A few schools in the UK, and yes, there's only 3 of them, decided to remove some books that contain fully nude images of people from their libraries because their libraries were accessible to 6, 7, and 8-year-olds. They also decided to remove books that contain...
All right. Ain't no child about to go to a book with nudity in it anyway. Why is that shit even in the fucking schools or libraries? But if the shit is about biology, then you have to see this because it's showing the organs. But for a child to get a hold of a biology textbook is beyond me. Unless the parent told the motherfucker to go over there, look around and grab something. No, fuck all that. No. See, this is why parents need to do their fucking jobs. This is why parents need to do their fucking jobs. And 2, who would put any sexual theme books in that bitch anyway if y'all don't have sex ed? We used to have sex ed back in the day. That shit ended the moment I got to motherfucking high school. But they had a goddamn daycare in motherfucking high school, though. What about sex ed? Tell the motherfuckers to wrap the shit up. We even had the Wrap It Up campaign on BET all over the goddamn place. Wrap it up. Nobody listened. I did. I did. I ain't had my first kid till I was 20. Nigga, that's how you know I waited. And even after I had my first kid, I still not want to be the motherfucking dumbass nigga going around having kids all over the goddamn place. Shit. I was smart with it. That's right.
grotesque descriptions of like torture or other horrific acts, because at 6 and 7 years old, that's not part of the syllabus. And to be honest, I disagree with the syllabus anyway, but that's not part of what's going to make them, educated. That's not going to be important to them until they're a little bit older to actually understand the context, and maybe in some of the books what the political message is and all of this stuff. It's all very important stuff, but your little kid shouldn't go from watching Coco Melon to reading a full torture scene about an Iraqi prisoner. Now, I have been very clear on this channel that I do believe the government censor content. In fact, with the Online Safety Act, the censorship has been absolutely obscene. My whole channel is anti-censorship, pro-digital privacy, amongst a load of other things that I talk about, of course, on the channel. But this is where I think it's important for everyone to direct their energy into the right places. artificially generated by the press, the same press that people wouldn't trust talking about Keir Starmer. People think that a headmaster removing these inappropriate books for children is the same thing as the government writing in a law of what content you can access.
Man,
it's not.
They was tripping on the book Catcher in the Rye. To me personally, this shit ain't new. It's just that, like, why is the children going to that area of the bookstore or the library? Parents, discipline your fucking kids. They supposed to be watching Coco Melon, not no motherfucking Iraqi torture scene. And plus, where did they get that at? I ain't seen no motherfucking Iraqi torture scenes in the motherfucking in the library when I was growing up. I don't even think it's in my libraries now about some Iraq torture scenes. You get that shit on the dark fucking web. Or maybe I'm tripping, or maybe there's a history book showing Iraqi torture. I need to look it up. But anyway, why would a kid even go to that area? The kid's supposed to be looking at Coco Melon books, coloring books, comic books, manga books, not going straight to the I tortured the Iraq section or the motherfucking American history section. The fuck is a I'm done.
The same thing at all. Now, there are ways to combat censorship. Obviously, I heavily promote private internet access VPN, where you can just change a location to like one of 91 countries. They don't keep any logs, and it basically gives you all of the access to information. I think when you live in very suppressive government environments, being able to use things like VPNs is the best thing for your digital privacy, and it's the best way to support the channel. But I think it is important to understand what the difference is between suppression, oppression, and limiting the access to information versus best practice around children. If you were teaching at a primary school and you were told by your headmaster that you had a budget of like £5,000 to go and get some books for your 7 to 11-year-olds to read in the library, you wouldn't go and buy those books from like Ann Summers or something. Your focus would be on books that would be age appropriate, that are going to reflect in the children positive.
God damn it, I just said that because this is my first time I'm watching this video. Y'all watching it with me at the same time. I just fucking said that. So what is that saying? That's common fucking sense. That's common sense. A kid is supposed to be reading kid shit, not adult shit. I don't give a fuck if the kid was a genius. He would be reading genius shit like motherfucking math or some motherfucking trigonometry or some chemistry or some shit or some motherfucking quantum mechanics or some shit. If it's a genius kid, it'll be trying to motherfucking find shit to expand on the consciousness. Not, I'm about to go motherfucking look up like motherfuckers getting tortured. Like, what the fuck you doing? A college thesis, nigga? You about to get a PhD at the age of 7, nigga? What's going on here?
From an educational standpoint that you think will help excel their reading ability and maybe their wider context of the planet, and maybe even scientific or mechanical, or things that are broadly educational. I think when it comes to books that pertain to extreme torture, violence, nudity, or anything like that, there shouldn't be a law that bans those books being read by children. But I don't think it should be encouraged that we force that content on children.
It should be the area where the parent just makes sure the kid don't go to, but the kid should be next to the parent anyway. Don't go nowhere, hold my hand. You know, what the fuck? And plus, you can't take the books at the fucking library. It's a fucking library. People, it's grown people that's probably searching for something important, doing independent research. They're going to need that book of torture, I guess. You know? So where are we going to get the books? They're going to force you to go online and pay damn near $500 to $1,000 for it. This is going to motherfucker up the demand for the book. It's going to be fucking crazy. When books supposed to be motherfucking, you know, like, oh my God, this is fucking crazy. I don't know what to say no more. I don't know what to say. Like, I remember protesting in my city, and like we was protesting some books, but like they was about to take the books and motherfucking throw them away and burn them. We protested, instead of throwing the books away or burning them, just to give them to us, we'll put them in our bookstores because we had some bookstores and shit. And plus, like, there was some, there was a school that was still open at the time that needed some, probably some children books. You know, the grown books would go to the bookstores and be sold or given away. At book drives. and plus there's like a community house that maybe want the books, what I'm saying? Like we had places that we can store these books. You don't have to take them and burn them. It's like, like it was like the inner essence of the protest is you burning knowledge. I guess like that was the point of it. Even though, some of the shit is bullshit in some of these books, but it was just like the whole point of why burn the books. Like it's just, it's crazy. And educators is now indoctrination here. It's crazy, Vonta. I know.
Just to prove the point that you're against censorship. If a parent doesn't want their child to play a certain game, that's fine. But that's also censorship. That's the worst thing in the world. No, it's not. Where we can make comparisons to places like China and North Korea and all of this stuff, there are comparisons to be made. But when it comes to censorship taking place in the UK, we have to be realistic and pragmatic about what that censorship is and target that directly. If the government passed a law that is a criminal offence for a child to read a certain book, then yeah, we have to put a massive question mark on that and start asking the big questions. But when headmasters decide to remove a couple of books from the library that contain fully nude images of adults in it, or deep descriptions of violence when that school houses children that are just young children, 6-7 years old, I don't think that's worth being up in arms about. And that's the way that I tried to spin that last video. Is this censorship? Is this true? Is this actually what's happening? And no, it's not. It's just a headmaster making a decision that, okay, we don't really need that. And when it comes to the context of art, in an art class, talking about artists throughout history where nude images may be present, I think the teacher should be able to show those images maybe once or twice in historical context.
Yeah, and historical context. Like if the teacher was talking about the sculptures of Michelangelo David or some shit, or the other sculptures of the chick. I forgot the chick that with the shawl hanging off, with the titty hanging out. You know what I'm saying? With the no arms. I forgot the name of that shit.
Hundreds of books of that in a library where children can just sit down and go through all of these nude images all the time. What is that going to do to further their education? What is that going to do to better the child? It's not about censorship. It's about being slightly conscientious with the content that you represent to your children. And this is where I think the argument starts to fall apart a little bit for the Online Safety Act. I don't think children should be able to access adult content. Of course they shouldn't be able to. My objections start and end when it comes to digital privacy. Legal adults should not be handing over their most private and sacred of information to use the internet. I'm still of the stance that children should not be accessing, to be honest, I don't think children should be using social media. I think it's bad for them. All data shows that the doom scrolling of social media and the addictive algorithms are bad for children. Of course they are. And of course on the channel we spoke about safer alternatives to this, and that is a form of censorship because they're making it a legal requirement that children aren't able to access the information that's present online. And like
I got a weird feeling that they froze my chat. Let me know if my chat frozen. This video is almost over.
Before, if it became a legal requirement that children couldn't read certain books, I would kick off about it. But I've seen a lot of energy being directed towards the things like headmasters removing certain books from schools, when I've not yet seen a single article that has a book in it that isn't contentious. Okay, good. So I think it's important to understand the difference between government-regulated censorship and just trying to do best practice around children. Hopefully that helps explain my stance a little bit. Make sure to check out private internet access VPN.
Okay, cool. You didn't flip on me. Cyber Waffle. I'm glad you explained. You said all good. All right. Number one. Baby girl, you're my number one. Now it's time for Tranquility. About to get off into it. About to learn about what was I learning? It was I think the spiritual debate, the spiritual debates explained, and every shadow work concept explained, and last but not least, every spirituality trap explained. Oh yeah. So altogether this should be 28 minutes 48 seconds. Let's get it. And then probably after this, and then you might be able to eat after this, probably. Because I know I gotta eat and probably get some rest, so I could be able to get up and do the Detroit After Dark. Oh yeah, I kind of want to do a Whitney Webb too, so I might do like a small little clip of Whitney Webb. She just popped back up on my timeline. Y'all ladies look sexy with them glasses. All right, where we at? We are right here. Bam.
Proof or blind faith versus gnosis. Blind faith is exactly
Up. Gotta turn this off. Gotta turn this on. I could have sworn I pressed it.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Thanks, computer. Prepare to engage.
Proof or blind faith versus gnosis. Blind faith is exactly what it sounds like. You accept something as true without needing personal proof or direct experience. It's based on trust, usually in a religious system, a sacred text, a leader, or a long-standing tradition. And this isn't some rare thing. It's actually how most major religions have functioned for centuries. In Christianity, for example, faith is considered a virtue. You believe first, even without seeing. Same thing in Islam. Submission and trust in divine authority is central. The idea isn't prove everything, it's trust what has been revealed. Someone grows up in a belief system, practices it, defends it, and never really feels the need to question it deeply. Not because they're lazy, but because it works for them. It gives structure, purpose, and a clear way to navigate life.
Bullshit.
Now on the other side,
Right.
you have gnosis. This comes from ancient tradition sense, but knowing through direct inner experience. Not
I'm glad you loved it, Vanta. I hope the thing ain't skipping on me. But said appreciate the live he did before work. Oh yeah. Yep, I woke up early. Had to get it done. Get her done. You already know, baby.
Gnostics believed truth wasn't something you just accept from outside sources, but something you discover within yourself. So instead of relying only on teachings, they emphasized personal insight, awakening, and realization. In real life, gnosis shows up as questioning. Someone hears a belief, and instead of immediately accepting it, they pause and go, does this actually make sense to me? They
Okay,
explore,
cool. Sound
reflect,
okay.
sometimes even
Keep my
challenge
fingers
what they were
crossed, baby.
taught. It's more hands-on. Like instead of reading the manual, you're pressing buttons to see what actually happens. Risky sometimes, but also how people learn things for real. Historically, these two approaches have always existed side by side. Structured religions leaned more toward faith, while smaller philosophical or mystical groups leaned toward direct knowing. Neither disappeared, which is interesting because it means both approaches clearly serve a purpose. If one was
yeah. That's why I fuck with the gnosis argument over the blind faith. So it's like blind faith versus gnosis. I'm going with gnosis. Like it's better to know, not having no blind faith. I just believe. Fuck that. I got to go through these experiences and go through the state of knowing. So it'd be like, for example, motherfucker be like, the stove is hot. I'll be like, how you know the stove is hot? I don't see shit plugged up. I don't see nothing. No, until I touch the stove and be like, oh shit, this motherfucker hot. Okay, now I'm in a state of knowing. But motherfucker be like, that stove is hot. I'm be like, nigga, how you know? Ain't nothing plugged up or nothing. The stove and the shit is cold. Because of the state of knowing, you know, like one, like in the state of knowing, like it ain't gonna be hot unless it's plugged up, unless it's connected to something or something is being cooked on the stove. For motherfucker to have blind faith, be like, that stove is fucking hot without shit being on it or shit cooking or shit plugged up or connected to the gas line, that the motherfucker got blind faith. Fuck you too. In a triangle way. About to hit YouTube with a trank dart. Shoot with the trank darts. So they wake up in the dark room.
completely useless. It would have been abandoned a long time ago. But nope, both are still here, still active. And depending on how you look at it, they solve different problems. Blind faith gives stability. It answers big questions quickly and gives people something solid to hold on to. Gnosis gives depth. It encourages exploration and a more personal understanding of things. But it also means you don't always get immediate answers. Sometimes you just get more questions, which is great if you enjoy thinking, but stressful if you just wanted a simple answer and peace of mind.
But since I enjoy thinking, it's cool. I can dig it. But if I'm just looking for a simple answer, I'll probably be mad. But I'm glad I love thinking. Because if you don't have your mind, someone else do.
Of course, both have their challenges. Blind faith can sometimes lead to accepting things without fully examining them. But gnosis can turn into endless questioning, where nothing ever feels fully settled. One leans toward certainty, the other leans toward inquiry. So it's less about one being right and the other being wrong, and more about how each one approaches truth. Ego death.
Right. So, be careful with the excuse me. And that's why I gotta be in balance. And I get, too caught up with it, because if shit leads to more questions, all you're gonna be focused on is questions after questions. When one question is answered, another question arises type shit, and you be so obsessed with that. So the goal is, go down the rabbit hole just a little at a time. You know how you got the little zip line, with the button, you just go down the rabbit hole, like pressing the button just a little bit, like, all right, I'm gonna stop right here. All right, pull me back up. or just press the button. Like, I forgot the name of the machine.
More about how each one approaches truth. Ego death versus integration. Ego death is the idea of completely dissolving the ego, the sense of I, the identity, the story you tell yourself about who you are. This concept shows up a lot in spiritual traditions like Buddhism, where the idea of no self suggests that what we think of as a fixed identity is actually an illusion. It also appears in practices like deep meditation, or even psychedelic experiences, where people report losing their sense of self entirely. The goal here isn't to improve the ego, it's to go beyond it, to realize that the you you're holding on to might not be as solid as you think. On the other side, you have integration. Integration doesn't try to destroy the ego, it tries to understand it and work with it. This idea is strongly connected to Carl Jung.
Yeah. I was on the first part at first, until later on down the line in my life, I was on the second part. Bask in it, talk to it. Sometimes I like to slash at it. But now it's just like sit down with it, talk to it before I go out this door, because I don't want to bring no energy with me when I'm out there in the world. You know what I'm saying?
This concept of the shadow, where instead of rejecting parts of yourself, you become aware of them and bring them into balance. The ego isn't seen as the enemy. It's seen as something that can be refined, understood, and aligned rather than eliminated. But this is where things start to get complicated. Ego death sounds peaceful in theory until you actually try to live like that. Because at some point, you still have to function as a person. You still have responsibilities, decisions, relationships. And if your sense of self becomes too detached, things can start to feel unreal, like you're watching your own life instead of actually living it. Some people describe it as clarity, others describe it as disorientation. Integration, on the other hand, sounds more grounded, but it has its own issues, because now you're not escaping anything, you're actually facing it. Your patterns, your insecurities, your habits, your contradictions, you don't get to delete them, you have to work with them, which means growth becomes slower, messier, and a lot less dramatic. No, I have transcended everything moment, just you realizing, oh, so I still have work to do. Again and again and again. So both approaches come with trade-offs. Ego death can lead to detachment, but sometimes too much detachment. Integration can lead to growth, but often very slow, very human growth. One risks feeling disconnected from life, the other keeps you fully in it, with all the complications included. Spirituality versus religion. Religion is the structured side of belief. It's organized, defined, and usually built around a shared system of teachings, practices, and rules. You have established traditions, sacred texts, places of worship, and communities that follow the same framework. Systems like Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism are examples of this. They provide clear guidelines on what to believe, how to act, and how to relate to the divine. It's structured for a reason. It keeps things consistent. You don't have to figure everything out from scratch because the system already did the heavy lifting. You just plug in and follow along, like installing software, but for your entire life. On the other side, you have spirituality. Spirituality is more personal and less structured. It's not tied to one system or set of rules. Instead of following a predefined path, it focuses on individual experience, inner growth, and personal connection to whatever someone considers higher or deeper. It can involve practices like meditation, reflection, or simply trying to understand yourself and reality on a deeper level. There's no single authority telling you exactly what to believe. It's more like you're figuring it out as you go, which sounds freeing until you realize you're now responsible for figuring it out as you go. In real life, spirituality shows up as exploration. Someone might pull ideas from different traditions, question things, and build their own understanding over time. It's flexible, it adapts, but it can also feel unclear because there's no fixed structure holding everything together. Historically, religion has been the dominant structure for organizing belief systems in societies, while spirituality has often appeared in more personal, philosophical, or mystical movements. Even within religions, there have always been more spiritual or mystical branches, people who followed the structure but also sought deeper personal experience within it. So it's not like these two have always been completely separate. They've overlapped more than people think. And depending on how you look at it, they serve different purposes. Religion offers structure, community, and clear guidance. Spirituality offers flexibility, personal exploration, and direct experience. One provides a map, the other encourages you to explore the territory yourself. And depending on the person, one might feel more useful than the other. Free will versus destiny. Free will is the idea that you are in control of your choices. What you do, what you say, the direction your life takes, it all comes down to decisions you actively make. This idea shows up a lot in philosophy, especially in existentialism, where thinkers argue that humans are responsible for creating meaning through their choices. You're not just reacting to life, you're shaping it. At any moment, you could choose differently. In real life, free will is how most people operate day to day. You wake up, decide what to do, make plans, take actions, and deal with the results. If something goes wrong, the assumption is that you could have made a better choice. If something goes right, you credit your decisions. It puts you in the driver's seat. You're responsible for your life, which sounds empowering until something goes wrong and you realize there's nobody else to blame. Not fate, not the universe, not your toxic ex, just you, sitting there with your choices. On the other side, you have destiny. Destiny is the idea that your life is already following a path, whether you're aware of it or not. This shows up strongly in religious and philosophical systems like Calvinism, where the concept of predestination suggests that outcomes are already determined. In many cultures, there's also the idea that certain events are meant to happen, like meeting certain people or going through specific experiences. So even though you're making choices, those choices were always going to happen that way. Something unexpected happens, and instead of seeing it as random, they say this was meant to happen. It gives situations meaning, especially the ones that don't make immediate sense. You miss an opportunity, and later something better comes along. Suddenly it feels like there was a plan all along. It's like connecting dots after the fact and realizing the pattern looks a bit too organized to be completely random. And depending on how you look at it, they solve different things. Free will gives responsibility. It says your actions matter, your decisions shape your future, and you have the ability to change your direction. Destiny gives meaning. It suggests there's a bigger pattern behind events, especially the ones you didn't plan or expect. Enlightenment versus human experience. Enlightenment is usually described as a state of deep awareness, clarity, or awakening. It shows up in traditions like Buddhism and Hinduism, where the idea is to see beyond illusion, detach from suffering, and understand reality at a deeper level. It's less about gaining something new and more about realizing what was already there. The ego quiets down, attachments loosen, and things are seen more clearly. At least that's how it's described. Because explaining enlightenment is a bit like trying to explain a dream you barely remember. It sounds profound, but also slightly confusing if you've never experienced it. On the other side, you have human experience. This is everything that makes life feel intense, messy, and real. Emotions, desires, struggles, excitement, attachment, mistakes, all of it. It's being fully involved in life, not just watching it from a distance. You feel things deeply, react to situations, care about outcomes, and sometimes overthink things at 2 a.m. for no clear reason. It's not always calm or clear, but it's very alive. It's unpredictable. It's emotional. It's not always logical, but it's also where most of life actually happens.
Now let's talk about every major shadow work concept.
Have you ever met someone who seems perfectly nice, but the moment something small happens, they suddenly explode? or someone who keeps accusing everyone else of being selfish while they themselves are the most selfish person in the room. Welcome to the strange world of the human shadow. According to psychologists like Carl Jung, every human being has a hidden part of their personality, a side of themselves they refuse to see, traits they deny, emotions they suppress, desires they pretend they don't have. And the thing is, the more you try to hide this dark side, the more it secretly controls your behavior. It's the reason people project their flaws onto others. It's why certain things trigger you emotionally. And it's why some people feel like they're fighting themselves their entire lives. This hidden psychological layer is what many spiritual and psychological traditions call the shadow. And in the world of shadow work, there are actually several different concepts that explain how it works. So in this video, we're going to break down every major shadow work concept and explain what they actually mean. Because once you understand the shadow, you start seeing it everywhere. In your friends, in your enemies, and unfortunately, in yourself. The persona. The word persona originally comes from ancient theater. Actors would wear masks to represent different characters on stage. One mask for the hero, one mask for the villain, one mask for the fool. And according to psychologist Carl Jung, human beings do the exact same thing, except our stage is society. The persona is basically the social mask you wear to function in the world. It's the version of yourself you show to other people, the polite version, the professional version, the I definitely have my life together version. For example, at work you might act calm, disciplined, and responsible, but with your friends, you're chaotic, loud, and slightly unhinged. And with your family, you're a completely different character again. That's the persona at work. It's not fake exactly, it's just selective. You show people the parts of yourself that are acceptable and hide the parts that might get you judged. But here's where things get interesting.
That's what's up,
Everything
man.
you hide behind the mask doesn't disappear. It just moves into the shadow. The anger you suppress, the jealousy you deny, the weird thoughts you pretend you never had. All of that gets pushed out of your conscious identity and into the unconscious, which means the persona isn't the whole you, it's just the public version of you. And the bigger and more perfect someone's persona becomes, the more powerful their shadow usually is behind the scenes. Because remember, the mask only works if something is hiding behind it. And that hidden part is where the real psychological drama begins. Projection. Now this is where things start getting a little uncomfortable, because projection is something almost everyone does, and almost nobody realizes they're doing it. Projection is when you take a part of your own personality that you don't like, and you see it in someone else instead. In other words, your mind basically goes, that flaw cannot possibly belong to me, so it must belong to you. For example, someone who lies often might become extremely obsessed with calling other people liars. Psychologically, what's happening here is simple. The mind is trying to protect your identity, because admitting certain things about yourself can feel threatening. So instead of facing those traits internally, the mind throws them outward like a psychological projector. Suddenly the world looks full of selfish people, arrogant people, manipulative people. But sometimes what you're actually seeing is just your own shadow reflected back at you. And here's the tricky part. Projection feels incredibly real. When you're projecting, you genuinely believe the other person is the problem, which is why shadow work can be so uncomfortable. Because occasionally, the thing that annoys you the most about someone else is the thing you secretly recognize in yourself. The golden shadow. Now, most people think the shadow only contains negative traits.
That's not true all the time. The fucking negative shit I see in somebody, I do not see that shit in myself. Hashtag, I am not Epstein. Most of these motherfuckers are evil fucking Geppettos. I hate that shit. You projected. That motherfucker's a real fucking pedo. That's not projection. That's a fucking fact. But I digress. I think you're talking about on a smaller level, but on a bigger level, like, fuck all that. I project that motherfucker is a pedophile.
Like anger, jealousy, selfishness. But according to Jungian psychology, the shadow can also hide something much stranger, your best qualities. This is called the golden shadow. The golden shadow is made up of all the positive traits you secretly have, but don't believe you're allowed to express. Your creativity, your intelligence, your leadership ability, your confidence. Sometimes people grow up in environments where these qualities are discouraged. Maybe they were told, don't show off. Don't think you're better than others. Stay humble. Know your place. So instead of embracing those traits, they push them down, and those strengths get buried in the unconscious. But here's where it gets interesting. Just like negative shadow traits, positive shadow traits also get projected onto other people. This is why people sometimes idolize others. You might look at someone successful and think, wow, that person is incredible. But what you're actually reacting to might be your own hidden potential. Your mind is recognizing something in them that also exists in you. In other words, sometimes the people you admire the most are simply mirrors of the strengths you haven't accepted yet, which means shadow work isn't only about confronting your darkness, it's also about reclaiming the parts of yourself that you were taught to hide. Triggers. Now this is where the shadow stops being theoretical and starts showing up in real life. Because one of the easiest ways to detect your shadow is through triggers. A trigger is basically an emotional overreaction to something small. Someone says one tiny comment and suddenly you're angry for the next 3 hours. Or someone behaves in a way that shouldn't really bother you that much, but for some reason it absolutely does. That's usually a trigger. And triggers...
Yes, I've been triggered. But I don't want to hold the triggers in. That shit makes it worse. So if I get triggered, I try to let it be known that I am, and it's, some still need to work on, it's like, it's like, it's like, it's some work, but when you get triggered, it's explained.
Often point directly to something hiding in the shadow. For example, if someone calling you lazy instantly makes you furious, there might be a hidden fear inside you about being seen that way. If someone acting confident annoys you irrationally, you might secretly wish you could express that same confidence. In other words, triggers are like little alarms your psyche sends out. They highlight emotional areas where something deeper is going on. And the interesting thing is that the trigger itself usually isn't the real problem. The real issue is the unconscious meaning behind it. Something inside you feels exposed, threatened, or recognized.
Yeah, exposed, threatened, or recognized. Mine's threatened. Like, someone is threatening to get in between me and what I got going on. Fuck that. So yeah, exposure, nope. I put everything on the table. And I forgot the last thing, but like, definitely felt threat. So yeah. But getting better every day, just like understanding the moment, trying to stay in it, and try not to let the small things trigger me, man. But like, shit, felt threatened to get in between what I got going on, like, rather it's trying to get in between my love, or getting in between my work, getting in between my music, or like even getting between this live. I get, triggered a little bit when it comes to getting kicked out my own fucking live, and everybody else could have gender identity politics and talk to faggots all fucking day. I can't do that shit. I'm trying to give y'all some truth of what we need to do right now. Do the inner work, do the shadow work, and get ready to take down a fucking government, because y'all gonna need to be in the right mind when it's time to take out the fucking government. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting all this out there for nothing. This ain't clickbait. This is for the warriors of mind, body, and spirit. And plus too, it's also therapeutic to keep me, or to motherfucker keep me cool, to keep me balanced. Cause I could have been fucked some shit up. But yes, I need, work on the trigger things. And I felt threatened. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but but I don't want to hold it in. I don't want to hold it in. Just let it out. Confront the situation head on. And, and just be cool. Whatever happens, happens. But at least you don't got to go to sleep holding shit in, like, woulda, shoulda, coulda type shit. When it rise up, you try to take it down. Try not to overreact. Try to be cool, calm, and collected. But it's just like when you know what's going on, you feel threatened. But like, to keep everything cool and copacetic, just check my triggers, and trust the people that I'm with, trust the situation, make sure it's analyzed fully, but make sure, trust also. That's another T word, triggers and trust. and tranquility and titties. All right, let's get back to it. It's the end of it. Like 2 minutes left. And then we got one more video.
That's why many shadow work practices involve asking a very uncomfortable question. Why did that bother me so much? Sometimes the answer reveals.
Why did that bother me so much? That when it gets to that question, why did it bother me so much? You know, and then I get my answer because that's my woman. Or why that bother me so much? That's my parking spot. Why that bother me so much? That motherfucker ate my apple out the fucking work refrigerator. Why that bother me so much? You know, it could be anything. And then weigh the pros and cons on a level of seriousness. I mean, not weigh the pros and cons, but put on a scale of the level of seriousness. And then go back to your trust factor. And then take a deep breath, meditate, and talk to your partner or talk to your boss or go for a walk, go for a drive, go for a run, clear your head. And then take it to holodeck 3. And I really want to thank you, Vanta. Thank you.
Something about yourself that you didn't want to see. The mirror principle. This idea is simple. The people around you often reflect parts of your own psyche. Not literally, of course. Your annoying coworker is still responsible for being annoying, but psychologically speaking, the traits that stand out to you the most in others are often connected to something inside you. Think about it. Why do certain people instantly bother you while others barely affect you at all? Why does one person's behavior make you extremely angry while someone else can do the exact same thing and you don't even care? It's usually because something about that behavior is touching a sensitive psychological area. Sometimes it reflects a trait you're trying to hide. Sometimes it reflects something you fear becoming. And sometimes it reflects a part of yourself you've never fully accepted. For example, if someone's freedom makes you uncomfortable, it might be because you feel trapped by your own responsibilities. And sometimes the people who annoy us the most are simply showing us parts of ourselves we don't want to look at. Shadow integration. Now, after hearing all of this, you might think the goal of shadow work is to destroy the shadow, get rid of the anger, eliminate the jealousy. But that's actually not the goal at all. In Jungian psychology, the goal is something very different. It's called integration. Shadow integration means acknowledging and accepting the parts of yourself that you normally try to hide, not acting them out recklessly, but also not pretending they don't exist. Because here's the strange thing about the shadow.
I can't pretend that I will not get triggered. I know I might get triggered again soon down the line. Somebody gonna say something crazy, but I gotta remember. Don't get triggered. Trust my partner. If anything said harmful, step in. Ask for any info, stepping in. Ask if you single, I'm stepping the fuck in. And be like, bam. It is easy. And being cool, calm, collected, and polite. So yeah. But at the end of the day, that scares a lot of people. People don't want to admit that. That shit scares a lot of people. How's you so calm in like situations that's chaotic? Because I've been through chaos all my fucking life. That's why. And 2, I already analyzed the whole situation. So when something go down, I already disappeared from the area. It's like, for example, when you go to a concert for the first time, if you not in the front fucking row, then your ass better be by the fucking exit. If anything goes down, you need to be the first one out that fucking door. You don't want to get trampled. You don't want to get pushed. You don't want to get whatever. If I got to leap, if I got to leap to the exit, I'm doing it. I'm talking about like the exit is like kind of like, like under me or something. Like I'm thinking about a stadium. I'm at the stadium right now, because I work at the stadiums and shit. But anytime, whether it's a club, a stadium, or motherfuckers outside doing that motherfucking Coachella shit, stay by the exit. But I want to get close to the band. You see that big ass speaker right there? You telling me you can't hear that shit? We chilling by the exit. We got us a nice spot. We just set up a nice little picnic. Got a couple girls with us. Vonta, you choose the ladies. I'm tripping. But yeah, I think that's 2 more seconds. How many seconds?
The more you deny it, the more power it tends to gain. When people refuse to recognize their shadow traits, those traits often start showing up in unconscious ways: passive aggression, explosive anger, manipulation, self-sabotage. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You can push it down for a while, but eventually it pops back up in the most inconvenient way possible.
Yeah.
Integration works differently. Instead of suppressing these traits, you bring them into awareness. You admit things like, yeah, I can be selfish sometimes. I do get jealous. I do have an ego.
Yep.
And strangely enough, once you acknowledge these traits, they become much easier to manage because they're no longer controlling you from the shadows.
Yep. And me, I'm the hurricane. Y'all heard me yell and scream at this goddamn fuck the government and the fucking YouTube. Yeah, pure unadulterated wrath. And it's cool to let it out like that and let it out through my music and not hurt nobody by trying to burn bridges or anything. And, just be like the Incredible Hulk. Direct my motherfucking anger and wrath towards the enemy. Because at the end of the day, like if the Hulk wanted to, he could destroy the whole fucking planet. The whole world. Everybody could die. No one is going to defeat Hulk. No one. But like you master it, you master your wrath, master your rage, you're unstoppable. Even Bruce Lee said it. It's like controlling your emotions is the greatest superpower. Or the best superpower. I forgot what he said. I had to go back to his quotes. But yeah. And it's best to use my wrath, direct it towards my music, direct it towards this podcasting. And if we set up Holodeck 3, you know what I'm saying? Put me in the dungeon, baby. You know what I'm saying? But just release all my... I need a release. Pause. Pause. But yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, now we're on the next one. What was the last one again? Hold on, I'm about to find out. Facts, don't hide it. Channel, yep, and focus it. Yep. Can't go wrong with the Dick Insider. Gotta channel it. Now let's talk about every spirituality trap.
Yep, every spiritual trap.
This is why we need to stay balanced and just know thyself and know if we're about to walk into a trap. Not just a trap on the outside world, but a trap within. Because remember, once you get past the first ego, you got to deal with the spiritual ego. You know what I'm saying? So let's try to stay balanced. Let's go. These are the spiritual traps explained.
Manifestation obsession. Manifestation sounds amazing on paper. The idea that your thoughts, beliefs, and energy can influence reality. That if you focus on abundance, visualize success, and align your mindset, life will start bending in your favor. And to be fair, there's something powerful about that idea. But this is where a lot of people fall into a trap, because instead of using manifestation as a tool, it slowly becomes an obsession. People start believing that every single thing in life is the result of their thoughts. If something goes wrong, they assume they must have manifested it. If something good happens, they credit their mindset. Soon, spirituality becomes less about growth and more about trying to control the universe. You'll see people constantly visualizing, scripting, repeating affirmations, trying to raise their vibration, hoping to attract money, relationships, or success. And when it doesn't work, they blame themselves. They think they didn't believe hard enough. They think they had the wrong vibration. They think a negative thought ruined everything. But here's the thing, wanting a better life isn't wrong, and using visualization, intention, or positive thinking can genuinely help people focus their goals and stay motivated. The trap happens when manifestation turns into magical thinking. When people start believing they can bypass effort, reality, or uncertainty just by thinking the right thoughts, real growth tends to look a little different. Instead of obsessing over controlling reality, it's about working with reality, using intention to guide your actions, using belief to fuel your effort, but still understanding that life is bigger than your affirmations, because sometimes the real power isn't forcing the universe to obey you, it's learning how to act, adapt, and grow inside it. Spiritual ego. Spiritual ego is one of the strangest traps on the spiritual path because it hides inside something that's supposed to destroy the ego. Spirituality. At first, everything starts innocently. Someone begins reading spiritual books, meditating, questioning reality, exploring consciousness, and slowly they start feeling like they understand things other people don't. And that's where the trap begins. Instead of the ego disappearing, it simply changes costumes. Before, the ego said things like, I'm richer than you, or I'm smarter than you. Now it says things like, I'm more awakened than you. You'll notice it when someone constantly talks about how asleep everyone else is, how society is full of NPCs, or how they've transcended the illusion. Ironically, the moment someone believes they've transcended the ego, that's often the moment the ego becomes the most subtle. But this...
Yep, the moment be like, I overcame my ego, like, yep, gotcha. And the moment I feel that, like, I think I know everything now. Nope, gotcha. See, now the spiritual ego trying to hide. I give the ego daily beatings. He don't put on the costume. I ain't giving you no time to put on the costume, Mr. Ego. But the spiritual ego, that motherfucker hide. That motherfucker lurking. And I'm searching. Bars. They gonna pop up. You gonna pop up. You know? And that's why I would never be like, I'm more awake than you. But I will say this world is full of sheep and NPCs, though. I'm going to definitely say that. But I can't say that I'm more awake than you because eventually you might wake up, you know? But do I have hope that the majority going to wake up? No, I don't have no hope. I'm not optimistic about that. People are so comfortable in their ways. I feel like if ain't a motherfucker woke up by their 30s, it's over. You feel me? I need to get over that because everybody wakes up in their own time. That's understandable. But you can see in the person's eyes and feel in their spirit that they're not going to fucking change. And that's when you be like, okay, I'll just walk away and be like, get in my way in the future. I'm going to have to murk you. It ain't going to be no hi, how you doing? You showed me, I might have to murk you later.
Doesn't make someone a bad person.
Allegedly.
It's actually a very common phase in spiritual growth. When people first discover new ideas about consciousness, reality, or enlightenment, it can feel like discovering a secret map of the universe. And naturally, that excitement can turn into identity. The problem is when spirituality stops being about seeing clearly and starts becoming about feeling superior. Real spiritual growth tends to do the opposite. It makes people more humble, more curious, more aware of how little they actually know. So if someone notices spiritual ego creeping in, the solution usually isn't more pride, it's more awareness.
My baby
because
gotta
the moment
eat.
you can laugh at your own ego, you're already stepping outside of it. Detachment from reality. One spiritual idea that gets misunderstood a lot is detachment. Many traditions talk about letting go of attachment to outcomes, possessions, and ego, and the idea behind it is actually pretty healthy. Don't cling too tightly to things that constantly change, but somewhere along the way, some people take this idea way too far. Instead of healthy detachment, it turns into checking out of reality completely. You'll hear things like, nothing matters, it's all an illusion. Bills, illusion. Work, illusion. Responsibilities, also illusion, which sounds very enlightened until the rent is due. This trap shows up when spirituality becomes a way to escape life instead of engaging with it. Someone might stop caring about relationships, responsibilities, or even basic goals because they think being spiritual means being above all of it. But ironically, almost every spiritual tradition that talks about detachment still had people doing very normal things, working, helping others, building communities, even monks had chores. Nobody ever said, achieve enlightenment and then ignore your electricity bill. Real detachment usually means something simpler. You still participate in life. You still work, care, build, love, struggle. You just don't let every outcome destroy your peace. Guru dependency. One of the oldest spiritual traditions in the world is the idea of a teacher, a guru, a master, someone who has walked the path before you and can help you avoid the same mistakes. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem begins when guidance slowly turns into dependence. Instead of using a teacher to learn, people start relying on them for every answer. What should I believe? What should I do? What does this experience mean? And over time, the student stops trusting their own judgment. The teacher becomes the authority on reality itself. You'll see this when followers defend their guru no matter what, even when something clearly doesn't make sense. At that point, spirituality stops being about awakening and starts becoming about obedience. Although guru dependency doesn't usually happen because people are foolish, it happens because spiritual questions are confusing and overwhelming. When someone seems confident and wise, it feels safe to let them think for you, and for a while that guidance can genuinely help. But most spiritual traditions eventually point to the same idea. A teacher can show you the path, but they can't walk it for you. The real goal of a teacher isn't to make you dependent forever, it's to help you develop the clarity to stand on your own understanding. Because if your truth only exists through someone else's voice, then it was never really yours to begin with. Knowledge without practice. One of the easiest spiritual traps to fall into is becoming a collector of ideas.
Yep.
You read the books, you watch the lectures, you learn about enlightenment, consciousness, the ego, manifestation, meditation, the illusion of the self. At some point, you can explain half the universe in a conversation, but there's one small problem. None of it is actually happening in your life, because knowing something and living it are two very different things. This trap shows up when spirituality becomes purely intellectual. Someone can explain non-duality perfectly, but still lose their mind in traffic. They can quote ancient wisdom but still react with anger, jealousy, fear, or insecurity just like everyone else. It's like reading 1,000 books about swimming without ever getting in the water. Now, to be fair, learning is not the problem. Curiosity is part of the path. The real trap is when knowledge starts to replace transformation. When understanding the idea of growth feels so satisfying that we never actually do the uncomfortable work that growth requires. Meditation, self-reflection, changing habits, facing your own patterns. That part is harder, but that's where the real shift happens. Because spiritual knowledge isn't meant to be a collection in your head. It's meant to become something you embody. Otherwise, it's just philosophy. And philosophy without practice is basically spiritual entertainment. The chosen one trap. At some point on a spiritual journey, a strange thought can appear. What if I'm special? Maybe someone had a powerful dream. Maybe a coincidence felt meaningful. Maybe they discovered spiritual ideas most people around them don't talk about. And slowly the thought grows. What if I'm one of the chosen ones? Suddenly the story becomes bigger. You're not just learning anymore. You're destined to awaken humanity, destined to reveal hidden truths. It's easy to fall into this trap because spiritual experiences can feel intense and personal, but the mind loves a good story, and I'm the main character of the universe is a very tempting one. The problem is when spirituality turns into cosmic ego. Instead of understanding people, someone starts seeing everyone else as asleep. But most spiritual traditions suggest something much simpler. Not one chosen hero, just billions of people, all learning and figuring things out.
Yeah, so the chosen one trap. What I see mostly is some chosen ones look down on the people that's not chosen. Kind of goes back to like what I said is like, don't look down on a motherfucker because a motherfucker might wake up. And when that motherfucker wake up, he might have some motherfucking knowledge and wisdom and understanding that will blow your motherfucking mind. You feel me? You know, some chosen ones get that cosmic ego. That's the third ego. Then nobody talk about that one. You got the ego, spiritual ego, and cosmic ego. I'm the chosen one, motherfucker. The universe evolves around me, motherfucker. Not you. You an NPC. You are a sheep. Get away from me. Get away from me. You know, and they, you know, got a sense of superiority complex. But some of these motherfuckers are like when it comes to reality, motherfucker be like, nigga, you I ain't gonna say it. But in reality, fuck it. Most motherfuckers are fucked up. Talk about chosen one. Like, nigga, you are fucked up mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Got the nerve talking about a chosen one. You know what I'm saying? You know, but like I've been hearing about the chosen ones all my life. I've been hearing it all my life. And but people have different interpretations of it. And certain people don't act all superiority complex wise when it comes to being a chosen one. They just know that they are a chosen one. And then, you know, like, you know, and they act accordingly. On the about the path of a chosen one, it's just like a hard ass motherfucker struggle all of our life. It's just like, what the fuck? You know, like a lot of egos clashing all over the place. Like what I love about this channel over here is no egos clash, no ego clashing, because there is no debate. You know, don't get me wrong. Oh, there was a couple of times someone questioned a couple of my talking points. You know, but like that's just us like getting to understand different perspectives. But on other channels, the egos, the spiritual egos and the regular egos, cosmic egos be battling like a motherfucker. But over here, there is no debate. That's the cool thing about it. There is no debate. Your government ain't shit. We need to kill these bastards. What's your excuse? And when it comes to religion, use your common sense, critical thinking, and comprehension skills. And read that book again, and you'll realize, holy shit, And when it comes to spirituality or doing the inner work and shadow work, like that's know thyself. That's the Hurricane Trinity. Fuck the government. Know thyself. What was the other one I did? Fuck the government. Know thyself. God damn, I'm high. But we got like
If you ever feel like you might be
2
the
minutes
chosen
left.
one, relax. If the universe needed one person to fix everything, that would be a pretty terrible system. Dark night romanticizing. Many spiritual traditions talk about something called the dark night of the soul, a period where someone feels lost, confused, or disconnected as old beliefs and identities start falling apart. In real spiritual traditions, this phase is usually described as painful and disorienting. It's not glamorous, it's not mystical fireworks. It's often quiet, uncomfortable, and deeply personal. But on the internet, something strange sometimes happens. People begin romanticizing the dark night. It starts to sound like a spiritual badge of honor. They begin to believe that suffering automatically means they're going through a deep spiritual transformation. So every hardship becomes a dark night. Someone goes through a breakup, dark night, burnout, dark night, existential crisis at 2 a.m., definitely a dark night. And while spiritual growth can absolutely involve difficult phases, not every hardship is a mystical initiation. Sometimes people are just going through normal human struggles.
And that what he just said was like the last thing I learned. A breakup, losing someone, you like through like someone passing away, or just waking in the middle of the night with some existential dread, like this could just be just like a human experience. We can't romanticize the dark night of the soul. Like everything is a dark night, huh? You're having a bad day. Yeah, but it's not as bad as the other day I had. I think it's the dark night. This is a double bad day. Nah, dog. It just happens. Family pass, a breakup, job loss, losing the crib. It ain't necessarily a dark night of the soul. It's just circumstances. But like the crazy shit about me, why I call it dark night of the soul, because the shit happened abruptly. Lose a job for no reason. The rent manager tell you that they about to sell the building, so like you gotta find somewhere to go, but ain't nobody motherfucking selling shit. Break up out of nowhere. And then the explanation on why the breakup happened is on some bullshit, or addiction, or a fucking ex that the motherfucker still talk to or fuck with type shit. Been through a lot. But some shit like just regular human experience. So now it's like shit. So it kind of like hopefully the next chick is got a head on her shoulders, less baggage, and someone that wants to grow with me. Through that in the universe, and then you popped up. Thank you, Vanta. You know what I'm saying? Took a long time. I'm fucking 38. But shit, it was worth the freaking wait.
Stress, identity shifts, mental health challenges. The trap happens when someone starts identifying with suffering itself, when pain becomes proof that they're evolving spiritually. But historically, the idea of the dark night was never meant to be romantic. It's not something to chase. It's something to pass through. Because the goal of the path isn't to stay in darkness forever. It's to eventually see more clearly on the other side of it. Blind faith trap. Faith can be a powerful thing. It gives people hope when life is uncertain. It helps people trust something bigger than themselves. And in many spiritual traditions, faith is seen as an important part of the journey. But there's a point where faith can quietly turn into something else. Blind faith. That's when someone believes something so strongly, they stop questioning it entirely. Not because they examined it deeply, but because they were told not to question it. You often hear things like, don't think about it too much, just believe. At that point, faith stops being trust and starts becoming intellectual shutdown. The problem is, most spiritual traditions actually began with people asking uncomfortable questions. Philosophers questioned reality. Mystics questioned dogma. So curiosity wasn't the enemy. It was part of the path. Now, to be fair, constantly doubting everything can also become exhausting. Not every mystery in life needs to be solved immediately, but blind faith becomes a trap when someone is afraid to even look at the question. Because a belief that collapses the moment you examine it was never very strong to begin with.
Yep. And that's the end of that. It is 4:44. Oh, snap. That means it's 9:44, going on 10 o'clock. You already know what it is. You know we got to rock you up out of here with one good song, baby. You already know it. First round of my goddess Vonta, my UK correspondent, my number one first lady. My goddess. Everybody go get us something to eat. I gotta give me some rest. I'm gonna try to get some rest, but I'm gonna definitely eat though. I'm gonna definitely eat. After dark here, yep.
Party, time to have a party. Baby girl, love it, everybody get naughty. Time to have a party, time to have a party. Baby girl, love it, everybody get naughty, get naughty.
UK after dark.
Get naughty. Baby girl,
short afternoon, UK after dark.
Walking in the club, baby, show me love. See me on stage, tell that motherfucker love. Baby girl, get you low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Out of control, got me saying roll. Baby, twerking on me, girl, you know how it go. Then the drop, singing low, take it to the mo. Baby, hop on it soon as the door close. I'm the one that you chose. Take off the clothes, pull out the camera phone. Wanna see you do a pose, put your tube video. Time to make a flick. Going full thumbs when I'm giving her the dick. Baby girl, you the shit. Girl like the party with. Never bad chick, say fire like an arsonist. Baby, this a hit. Got another party mix. Call me Santa Claus, had to put you on the naughty list. Time to have a party. Time to have a party. Baby girl, love it, that she about to get naughty. Time to have a party. Time to have a party. Baby girl, love it, that she about to get naughty, get naughty.
Shouts out to everybody. Tranquility Thursday. Mixed with a little HHN, sprinkle of HHN on it.
Giving her the business, love it when I'm in it. In her ass over, that's her favorite position. Give it to her raw, going in the deep. Fucking all night, we ain't about to go to sleep.
I was just about to type that.
Baby girl skirting and she fucking up the sheets. She the beauty, I'm the beast.
Thinking the same thing, Vonta.
Sweet cherry pie, baby, let me get a piece. Detroit after dark, did it in the park.
Thinking the same thing, Vonta.
The stars on the hood of a car. She the best of wrist, we up in the parking lot. Put up to the job, we was fucking on the clock. Day and after work, we went to the drive-in. Treated like a swimming pool, I'm about to dive in. This a party over here, got you fucking vibing.
Love it, baby.
Girl, yeah, I'm about to slide in.
You know
time to have a party, time to have a party. Baby girl, love it, and she about to get naughty. Time to have a party, time to have a party. Baby girl, love it, and she about to get naughty.
Same time, baby. Love you too, Vonta.
Get naughty. Know that. Time to have a party. Time to have a party. Baby girl loving that she about to get naughty. Time to have a party. Time to have a party. Baby girl loving that she about to get naughty. Get naughty, 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 get naughty, 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 get naughty, 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 get naughty, 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 naughty.
Shouts out to everybody. HHN special report mixed with a Tranquility Thursday. Yeah, we talked about the spirituality traps. We talked about the let me go to it again. I gotta go to my other phone. We might have some news. I'm gonna start again like around 10:30. There's this new game called Apellion or Apollon, which proves my point. Or y'all make the female characters look like fucking dudes. And this shit is a fucking walking simulator at that. Oh my god. I see the redhead goddess with glasses. Like I see her on the thumbnail. I'm like, oh my god, she just popped up, Vera Dark. I'm like, oh shit, she about to kill this shit. And something else popped up on my notey. Talk about offline privacy is officially obsolete. What? We might have 2 videos for a quick HHN before the Detroit After Dark. Oh yeah. And there's something else pop up. We'll see what's popping. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Whitney Webb shit. So yeah, so that's 3. So that's 10, 11, 8. So that'll be 29 minutes. If I put the speed up, it should be about 25 minutes. We should be within range before 11 o'clock or a little after 11. Yep. HHN, Detroit After Dark. I go live 10:30. Damn. JVJ go live tonight. I think I missed maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. I missed 2 or 3 weeks over there. We'll see what's popping. I'm going with the flow with it. But I do want to cover this news. You know what I'm saying? I feel this news is very important. And because this game news also proves my point, I'm about to put up a community post on the character for the new Apollon. Y'all gonna think it's a guy, but it's really a female. Oh yeah. So shout out to everybody. HHN special report mixed with Tranquility Thursday. Hope y'all have a tranquil day. Much love to my goddess Vanta, my UK correspondent. And shout out to everybody that came through. And everybody's going to watch on the playback. Oh, who came through? Jordan came through. Yep. Shouts out to Jordan. And Live and Learn. Shout out to everybody. Yeah, I know. Damn, like I was supposed to have been talking about what the hell we watched. I got threw off by the notifications. But yeah, we talked about every spirituality trap, every major shadow work concept, and we talked about every spiritual debate. So shout out to everybody coming through and catch y'all on the next one. Let's get us something to eat, Vonta. And you can't go wrong with a dick insider. Should we do it one time? Before we go? Should we do it? Bubba, we're gonna do it.
My day until I've had a dick cider. There's nothing better than waking up to a good old dick cider.
My girlfriend loves dick ciders. My sister came to stay with us for a month, and my husband couldn't go a day without a dick cider. My girlfriend loves a dick cider.
My mom loves a dick cider.
My sister loves to wake up in the morning with a dick cider.
I'm a bit young, but I would love to try a dick cider.
So there you have it. For over 150 years, Frederick Von Dickens has developed a beverage that literally brings women to their knees. So fellas, for the sake of the economy, get a dick cider.
All right, and we're going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Much love to my God is about to shout out to everybody. We out. For the sake of the economy, Mike, get a dick cider.